Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Bryce.
And we're PSAP. That's the name of our band.
Stands for Pluto Still Planet.
Sometimes. And welcome to the PSAP cast, aka Pluto Still a Podcast. That's the short version of that. Mm-hmm. It's the first episode of our podcast. And we're slowly learning that we can't do this because we don't take anything seriously.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's great.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about...
why don't you tell them what we're going to talk about today?
So, we wanted to have one episode before our album drops, even though we're probably releasing this after the album.
We haven't decided yet.
Yeah, we haven't decided. But we wanted to do that just to talk about our thoughts about the album, because we know it's about a couple weeks out. Hopefully. Yeah.
We have an album, by the way, that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
If you didn't know. If you don't follow our socials, shout out to the @PSAP band account on Instagram.
Yeah.
And also our Twitter, which is the same handle.
Our username for that is PSAP18. I don't know why, but that's what it is.
Is this how you plug your social medias on a podcast? Are we doing it right?
I don't think so.
Let us know in the comments below if we're
doing it
if
right.
we're plugging our social medias correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. What a disaster this has turned out to be.
It's okay, guys. Just sit tight with us, you know.
Yeah, bear with us. Take a seat with us. Well, we don't have any more chairs. That's why Bryce is on an exercise ball.
Wait, there's a bear with us? Bear with us.
Yeah, bring in the bear, guys. Bring him in. It's time.
Oh, we're being told that...
Oh, wait, what?
We're being told that the bear is not here.
Yeah, the bear couldn't make it today.
So bear with us.
You can't bear... That was really worth it. That was really worth the bit. No bear with us today. But we do want you to be patient because we're really bad at talking, especially in front of a camera.
Yeah. Especially with a mic.
Yeah. So
what?
Are you getting major deja vu right now? We've had this exact conversation before. Mm-mm. We did a test podcast, and this is exactly what happened.
I don't think we did.
We did. And I was like, we're bad at talking in front of a mic. And then I was like, so? And then you said, so what? It's not important.
It's not real.
Okay. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the album.
Oh, our album.
Yeah.
They don't know the title of the album. We probably shouldn't tell them yet. It's like a secret that's going to happen later. But we can tell you that it has 9 songs. Yeah. And each one is about a different thing. And they're all different. None of the songs are the same song.
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah,
we're not one of those bands.
We toured with that idea where we just record the same song 10 times, but we in the end decided not to go that route.
Yeah. We might for our second album.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
It was just a little beep.
Oh, that was weird. Someone knocked or something. It was like a animal.
Oh wait. Oh, the bear is here today. The bear is with us.
So bear with us, guys.
Okay, we're just gonna not talk about that, I guess. Yeah. So what about the album do you want to talk about today, Bryce?
I came here with a lot on my mind, and
as soon as we sat down,
everything
blank. That's how it goes. Sometimes.
It's all leaving. But I do want to talk about a little bit of the inspiration behind our album, you know?
Okay.
Do you want to go into that?
I don't know how deep I want to go into it, because I kind of want some of it to be people figure it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
I will say that we draw from some other works, I guess. I'm trying not to sound really pretentious when I say this, which is difficult to do when you're a musician, I guess. But, we tried to draw from lots of other mediums, I guess. There's a couple books that we sort of extracted some themes from and story arcs and kind of try to portray that in our music. There's some movie references, I guess. I don't know. I see that I don't want to be too specific because it's
that makes sense.
Part of the cool thing is listening to the album, you're like, oh, I know what this is from. You're like, oh, I know this is a reference to that. But also, no one's gonna listen to this album because we have 8 monthly listeners, and no one is gonna be it's just so subtle that probably no one's gonna understand what we're talking about at all. Yeah. So
Not until hopefully the future, which is kind of why we're doing it.
I guess it'd be easier if like the album was out and we could be like, oh yeah, this track is this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe we'll do another episode of this podcast
We will.
when the album is out, and we'll be like, this track is this. The thing that I was just saying is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think it was important to us, like, to try to be inspired by other things besides music. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a musician and you write songs, it's really easy to listen to other bands and be like, oh, I like this sound, so I'm going to copy that sound. You know what I mean? And obviously, like, we don't want to plagiarize, first of all. Like, we don't want to, break the law. But also, like, we don't want to, like, rip off other band styles or, like, rip off certain songs or something like that. And I think a lot of times, like, I think any musician will tell you it's easier than it sounds to, like, listen to a song and then not even know it. But when you're writing a song, you're, like, totally copying that other song.
Yeah.
Like, there's been sometimes where we're playing a song, we're like, oh, wait, this is actually the exact same.
Yeah,
riff.
like the exact same melody and stuff.
So it was important to us, or at least for me, in the writing process, to, like, draw from things that weren't songs and, like, to write music with things that aren't music. Because, at least for me personally, I have a big problem with, like, accidentally ripping off riffs or, like, lines lyrically or something. So the easiest way to avoid that was, like, I don't want this song to be inspired by another song. I want the song to be inspired by something totally different. So, like, a movie, a painting, a book, I don't know, other things that there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, like, to draw creatively, like, more, less specific, like, drawing things into your music that are less specific and more just, like, conceptual. And in that way, like, creating something original. Hopefully it's original.
Yeah.
Creating something new and original.
Original as it can
be. Like, art begets art. You know what I mean? Like, art inspires other art, inspires other art, inspires other art. And, like, it's all just part of this big canon of art. Not like a canon, like a canon, like, with one end, like, collective, what's the word? Collective. A collective of...
It's just a collective,
of, like, works of art that play off of each other. So, yeah, that really doesn't answer the question. It's very vague.
It wasn't really a question. It was just kind of more of, like... That's kind of where I was going with it. Is what, what kind of thing inspires you to write music, first of all, and then what kinds of things, like, did you use for this specific album of ours? Like, it's our first album, and it's kind of for a lot of bands, I feel like it's hard for them to conceptualize an album. Like, do we write songs about nothing, or do we write songs about things that have really deep meanings?
It's so easy to write songs about nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ripping on anyone, you know what I mean? Like, oh, music these days is just, like, so stupid. Like, I don't want to really get into that. But, like, as musicians, we can say it's easy to, like, just say words that mean nothing and that sound really cool. So I think we try to avoid that. I think we're guilty of it sometimes. I think there's some lines from our single Breathing, which is available on Spotify now.
Plug.
Plug. Shout out to our Spotify account, PSAP.
Yeah.
I think there's some lyrics in that song where it's just like, what the hell are you talking about? And I don't know necessarily. Like, parts of that song are really specific. Maybe we'll do another podcast. We have a lot of podcasts coming up. Maybe we'll do another one where I kind of dive into that, like, story. But some of them are just like, I needed the rhyme, so I was like, this rhymes and it's kind of funny, and, like, you guys can interpret what that means. But I think as a whole, as the album, we wanted to avoid that, and, like, even if it sounds like nothing, like, to us, it most of what we're saying actually does mean something. And hopefully it can.
If it's not specific, then it's more of a broad meaning.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully it'll mean something to other people as well, even if it's something different, Because once we put it out there, it's, like, not our album anymore. It's everyone else's album.
Yeah, I would hope so that, like, art speaks for itself in some ways, that it's not just us. It's like the art is almost a separate entity from like our music that speaks to other people that we can't really have any control of. It's something that just happens.
Yeah.
More of a spiritual thing, I would say.
Yeah, like, I don't want to get specific again, but there's a line in Breathing, our single again, you listen to it on Spotify, where people like really misinterpreted what I was trying to say. And part of me was like, I don't, like, want you to think that, because that's not what I was trying to say. But part of me is like, if that's what you interpret this song as, and that's what, like, has the most meaning to you, then I guess, like, you can think whatever you want about me as a person and what I'm trying to say. Like, it's more important that you connect with this song and you, like, appreciate, you know, the honesty, even if it's not the honesty that I intended to be honest about.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I feel like people have a lot of conflict with that. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy because it's just two of us.
Right.
And we kind of do this thing. We kind of did this with the album where we wrote a ton of songs like by ourselves, and then we gave each other a little bit of room to do whatever they kind of wanted.
Yeah.
It was more of a collaboration of, instead of writing them together, we kind of did a collaboration thing.
Yeah, I think it varied song to song as far as amount of that goes. Like, there's some songs that you wrote everything, and then you were like, this is what you're going to do on bass. And there's some songs that I wrote everything, and I was like, this is what you're going to do on drums. And obviously you were like, that's dumb, so I'm not going to do that sometimes. But, like, there's some songs that we wrote, like, in tandem, like, together. I don't know. There's just a wide, like, mix of stuff like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I was saying, like, there's two of us, which makes it easier. But bands who are having, like, 4 or 5 people, like, what do? Do you give one person basically, like, do they just write everything? And then it's kind of like they're just the puppets of the entire band, you know? Right.
Which I feel like that's why a lot of bands break up, because you're like, I don't have any creative input.
Yeah, and it goes back to the art thing where, like, you need to express yourself. That's the point of art.
Right.
Is expressing yourself.
Right.
And when someone can't express themselves, it gets really hairy and difficult, and you're like, I don't want to be a part of this art because this isn't my art. This is your art.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just a studio musician.
I can get paid for this, but I also need an outlet for myself. And then you have to think about, well, there's not enough time in my life to express the art. You know, it's like, so I need to be with this person, and hopefully they can compromise and they can, like, go off of each other, and that's why it's easier for just two of us.
Yeah,
we can just talk with each other.
And, like, like, if I write something and you're like, I don't, like, that's dumb, like, we shouldn't say that, like, my initial reaction is like, oh, you're probably right, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I think this is good, like, it's probably not. If other people, you know, because we have that trust with each other because we've known each other for so long and been in a lot of bands, it's like, basically we are each other's target audience, you know what I mean? Like, we're a pretty good representation of the demographic that we're writing music for. So it's like, if one of us is like, I don't like that, it's like probably what, you know, other people will hear. Because we're always going to be biased, like, in terms of your own stuff, you know what I mean? Like, in a lot of ways we're biased towards our own stuff, but a lot of ways we're biased against our own stuff too.
Yeah.
And we're all just insecure about everything, which is awesome. But...
Well, that kind of, it's like kind of like a gateway into talking about, you know, what we think about, like, how we think this album's going to turn out. Yeah. As far as our self-expression goes. And, and, like, you know,
that'd be interesting.
Bad to good, how we think, like, good being, there's a lot of self-expression, and it's a beautiful piece of art to us. And then bad being, like, I think we did something wrong. Like, there's some things that we did not do correctly.
I think with anything, there's going to be stuff that we don't do correctly. Yeah. So, like...
For sure.
But I hope...
But I just want to be proud of it, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, at the end of the day, obviously we want people... Like, it makes us so happy when people are like, oh, I love your song, or like, oh, this song, like, you know, speaks to me, or, oh, I can't stop listening to this song because it's catchy, even beyond what it's about, like, to the music. But even if, like... At least for me, this is, like, what I'm hoping. It's not necessarily the truth, but it's, like, what I'm hoping to inhabit. Is, like, even if not a single person besides us listens to our album, I want to still be happy with it. Like, I still want to be able to listen to it and be like, I don't care that nothing came out of this. I don't care that, like, no one's listening to this. I don't care if everyone hates it. Like, it's important to me that I was able to put this out there and, like, be able to express these things that I'm feeling. Yeah. And obviously, like, that's never going to be 100% the case. Because even if we don't know it, we're always letting, like, what other people think impact us, you know?
That's part of being
It's
human.
just a matter of, like, how much you're willing to compromise your art to cater to someone else besides yourself. But my hope is that, well, obviously I hope that people listen to the album. Like, I'm not saying, no one go listen to our album. You're going to hate it. But my point is, like, even, like, the point of us making it isn't for everyone to listen to it and everyone to enjoy it and us to just get, like, super rich off of it. One, because we know that's not going to happen. And two, because, like, this is mostly about an expression of ourselves. And then once we put it out there, like, whether or not you guys react to it isn't really up to us. And, like, how you connect to it isn't really up to us. Yeah. So at that point, it's like, we've done our part and, like, we're happy with this.
And we've come into this knowing that there's a niche audience for this style of music.
Right. And especially in our... like surrounding area.
Mm-hmm. And based on other bands' experiences, you know, we've kind of come into it with that mindset of like, we know there's going to be a large audience that won't enjoy it and won't necessarily listen to it. We're hoping that they can still appreciate what we've done, you know, like, and kind of appreciate the style and you know, they don't have to listen to it, but
it's
like, fine.
Hopefully we're doing something at least a little bit different than a lot of other people. Like I'm saying, like I said, like as far as being original, like hopefully there's something new that we're bringing to the table. We're not just like repeating old themes and like repeating old, you know, style, like genre archetypes or whatever. I don't know because obviously we're biased towards or against our own stuff, but that's our hope, is that like that this is gonna like contribute to something greater, I guess. I don't know. I really don't want to sound like an asshole.
Right.
But yeah, I think like,
I mean, I would hope that most musicians would want their music to contribute to something greater.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Bigger than themselves.
Right.
Bigger than money and bigger than
I would hope that too. I do hope
fame.
That.
Yeah.
I don't know how often that's true, but that's our hope, at least for now. Who knows? Maybe we'll get super rich and totally abandon all of our artistic integrity.
Yeah, hopefully. No kidding.
No, hopefully never. Hopefully that never happens. Hopefully we never get super rich off of this. That'd be cool if we were like barely scraping by by playing shows. You know,
I'd be fine with that.
I'll set the bar super low. That's our brand.
That's how I've lived my life, man. Setting the bar
super low, and you can only be.
I mean,
surprised.
You can't really be disappointed, you know.
You'd be
which
surprised.
Is kind of sad.
You'd be surprised.
I guess.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I guess like we can kind of go more into depth. We could even do like one episode per song. This is the first episode we're doing of this podcast, so it's like obviously you can tell we don't have any idea what we're doing.
Most of the other ones are going to be organized. This is just a complete mess because like we just want to put it out on the table. Like we're starting this podcast. This is before our album. We want to like show you guys that we're starting this and like, I don't know. We want to express our feelings and like get personal with you guys about it.
Mm-hmm. And
more
like
details.
Hopefully like. I'm not sure what
I was going to say.
I think it was. I got distracted by this little thing on the mic stand over there.
Oh, okay.
It's like got two little like orbs on it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It's like. I wonder if they can hear that in the.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't know if I can think of anything else.
Yeah, without like spoiling anything.
Yeah, no, it'll be a lot more information once we.
Right. Yeah, we're just like I don't know. We want to do something like Bryce was saying on like a personal level as far as like getting to know us. You know what I mean? Because like we think our audience is small enough that hopefully we'll be able to engage with everybody on a semi-personal level. And this podcast is like a hope. Our hope for this podcast is that it'll be an outlet for that kind of like communication. Like you can listen to our songs and get a pretty good idea of who we are, but this is like where is that coming from and like a lot deeper, you know, of a look at like our whole process, I guess, as far as writing songs and just like living life, you know.
Living life.
Just living life.
Just living
I'm just hustling.
life.
I'm just grinding.
I'd rather. No, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think that just about does it for
just about does
episode 1.
We forgot to do a theme song.
We didn't do the intro song.
We're gonna do an outro song.
Maybe we'll do an outro song. Okay. You wanna give me that starting note?
No, that was just
that wasn't it.
No,
I'm glad.
Here it is. Podcast.
It's our podcast for our band,
and it's
PSAP
today.